Good afternoon from the gardens. Just doing a gentle panorama so that you can see where we're at this time of the year. Not giving you too much of a view because where we are and how few plants there are upon the fence and around the garden. So this is the pink Tip Trotonia, and now you can see a tub, and that is concrete painted. I think it's more or less original to the property, and it stands on a step that my parents used to use when chatting to the now late next door neighbours. There is a bird bath come water feature, and we use that for the birds, and in the summer there's also a solar panel attachment fountain, and we got that for Dad's retirement present when he was 65, although he had actually taken early retirement a few years before. That there is a water bowl, and we use that for when we have the hedgehogs and other wildlife in the garden. And there's one of the hedgehogs. Of course it's resin, it's not real. And this area is where we keep the bins during the warmer and summer months. This whole area was created by myself and my dad. And I like to think it's one of the better jobs that we've done. And here we've got a piece of trellis that disguises, so when we're in the house you can't see the bins. What else can I show you? Let's have a look down here. So as I say, this is a resin hedgehog, and we've got, here used to be a massive paracanther and holly, and those two stubs right there, I think was a paracanther. So we've got the holly, and then I've put in this other holly, and there's also some euonymus there you can see, and there's in amongst that we've got the ferns, and we've got a few ferns and holly to be the standout stars of this garden, along with hebe, which we've got dotted around in the front garden, along with the euonymus. It's always a good idea to try and find plants that do well and sort of build on that experience by having more of the same. This is a red currant. It's looking a bit shabby at the moment, but that's the time of year. Having said that, wow, look at how well the rosemary's doing. And just above it, two paracanthers that were kept because I wanted to trim them to look like the lollipop shape. I do apologise, the one on the left's the holly. Looking over the back here, you can see part of the fernery. Looking right round to the rest of the fernery at the back. I've also got a seating area that I completed in the summer. That on the left is a cowl, but we also use it as a little table and as a seating area for if we've got guests. This is a submerged planter, and it's got lots of bulbs in it, but it's also got a mixture of herbs. It's got some mint in there, and it's got some thyme in there as well, along with other plants. And we've also got some, I think it's called phlox, I'm not entirely sure. And we've got some erica as well. Around here we've got the faux spring, and what I mean by that is there's a little pump, as you can just see off to the left there, or slightly in the centre of this picture, hiding behind one of the ferns, and it needs a good old clean, and it will get a good old clean at some point. But Why is it a faux? Because it's literally an inch deep. So let's have a little look up here, look at some of the winter flowering, and that winter flowering plant there is winter flowering jasmine. Always does very well there. And just up here, if you can see, the camellia's bulb. So let's take you for a little bit further down the garden. I'm going to take you right to the end. And this area has been all kinds of different things, but at the moment it's just a raised bed with a little pot as the eye catcher at the end. And then off to this side, and I said we've got some hebes in the garden. This is quite a large one. This does really well. And behind it we've got Spirea, Abelia, a silver hebe, and in this pot here, a chimney pot, we've got a variegated type of ivy. These are the steps that I put in, a good 13-14 years ago now. We've got a little sculpture on the right, and then once again, as I say, we've got the bird path. You can probably just see in the centre of that picture there, we've got a squirrel. Not a real one. So there's the steps there. This is a variegated Euonymus. We've got the sculpture just there. Can you see that? It's two pieces from roof tiles and then a piece of metal that I found at the back of the shed. No idea where either of them came from, but made a nice little sculpture. So this is the shrubbery, and I've had to chop down the stilby because it gets rather big and then it gets a bit sort of stringy and straggly when you get to this time of the year. I've got a buddleia at the back, and a Japanese maple, and a Japanese rose, a chimney pot. Got two Christmas trees. We did have a third one, but the third one's sadly passed away this year. And then we've got this brand new obelisk that I moved from somewhere else in the garden and put it into this position so that camellia could flourish once again. And this section here looks like a mishmash of pots and bits and bobs. It's actually a section of the garden where nothing would grow directly from the soil, so I put this area together to sort of give it another sort of eye catcher feel. And the path that you can see there, I'll put in by myself, and it goes right round and it meets up with the steps on the left hand side. Just here we've got what I call the long border, because it's the longest part of the garden where we've got the widest sort of variety of plants. We've got everything from Japanese anemones, we've got this, that and the other. That twig there you can sort of make out with just two remaining leaves on. That's an orange maple. Apparently they're notoriously difficult to grow, but ours seems to do pretty well. This year's the very first time that it's lost its leaves over the winter season, so that might mean it's finally found its roots and it's going to come back next year. The rest of the border is generally bulbs and sedum and all sorts of things that spread about. And if you just look just there, can you see? We're just getting all the shoots up now that are going to be the bulbs in the new year. And we have every sort of thing in here. We have everything from tulips, we get bluebells down the end. We don't get crocuses. It's very odd we don't get crocuses, and I don't understand why. Maybe it's a soil thing. So that brings you back to the pink Tip Trotonia. And one last look at the gardens. today.